Bat root. I've seen him a lot of times, as you just saw in the previous aces hand. He does it a lot of other times where he'll 3-bet with a mediocre hand. Someone will 4-bet like a huge percentage of their stack, and he'll call knowing that they have aces and be ready to stack off on any flop where he hits. But too often he's calling basically too big a percentage of the other person's stack to make it profitable, and he's doing it with hands that don't flop that well post flop, or that will often flop like a dominate, like say with the hand that he had, what if he flopped just basically a bare flush draw, and the person he's up against has aces and the nut flush draw. Then he still has to stack off, and he basically has close to like no equity or very little equity. Okay, so I got my stack up to 3 buy-ins here at this table. That root still has about 3 buy-ins, so I'm loving this. I'm looking to get his whole stack. So I open. This is a pretty standard open with this hand. Good connectedness, double suited hand. He 3-bets me, which we know he does a lot, and he didn't even 3-bet full pot. So against a player like this, I'm like 90% sure he doesn't have aces, especially with how frequently he 3-bets. When it comes back to me, obviously I could just call, which is what I would do a lot, but I'm trying to get his stack in, and I'm also trying to confuse him and make him make mistakes post-flop. So I'm going to 4-bet here, especially since we have so much money behind. Basically, I want him to make the mistake he's been making against other players, putting them on aces whenever they 4-bet, and then playing his hand accordingly. Which, if he does against me here, it's going to cost him big time if I flop big, because he's going to say, oh, this guy has aces, and we have a lot of money behind. So I know how he plays against 4-bets. He just assumes it's aces and then goes from there. So he calls, which means he doesn't have aces. And now we flop the nuts, and we have basically all the blockers for the redraws to the nuts. That is, if a 10 comes off, we still have the nuts. If a queen comes off, we still have the nuts. If a king comes off, we still have the nuts. So basically, we have the nuts, and the only thing that even has decent redraw against us is a set. And so I go ahead and c-bet here, a little bit less than full pot. The pot's already big enough where that if he has a piece of this, I don't have to pot it the whole way to get his whole stack. If he has like 10-7 or like 2 pairs or something, I could just bet smaller than pot, and I'm going to be able to get his whole stack. He calls, turns a 4, giving us a backdoor second nut flush draw also. That's not really scary to us. The only thing he could possibly have that gave him more outs is the nut flush draw. Also, I don't even think he's as strong as a set in this spot, because like I said, he's putting me on aces most of the time. I think he's just gonna raise me if he has pocket jacks or pocket nines. So I think there's a really good chance he's drawing dead or like almost near dead here. Like backdoor nut flush draws is only, and even if he has that, he only has 7 outs because I have 2 clubs in my hand. So so again, I'm not gonna pot it here. I'm gonna bet 2/3 pot, which is fine, considering that I have a pretty good read on the type of hand that he has, which has probably between 0 and 7 outs, most likely 0 to 4 outs. Like I'm thinking he has like 9-8 or jack 9 or maybe pocket 8. Well, except I have an 8, so that's unlikely, or maybe pocket 9s or something. And in any of those cases, he's got at most like 9 outs, and most likely 4 outs or 0 outs. So I just bet 2/3 pot. I could even bet a little less and then just jam basically almost any river except maybe a board pair. And he calls again. We only have 1/3 of the pot left, so this is a beautiful situation for us. Just waiting for the river. River comes off. Obviously, I don't beat ace-x of clubs or 6-7 of clubs, but with only 1/3 pot left, and the flush draw being backdoor, obviously I still have to value bet this second nut flush, and hope he had like like jack 10 of clubs or something like that, which is definitely possible. The way jack 10 of clubs, no matter what the other cards are, is pretty big on this flop, especially for him. So there's a really good chance he has a worse flush, or or just 2-pair or straight or something that he won't fold. So obviously this is a shove, and he did backdoor nut flush, and which is sick. That's like a 6 buy-in pot there, which is really gross, especially since I had him set up. He's calling me on the flop with top pair, and that's it. Which is really top pair and backdoor draws. Oh, top pair and a gutter, really. And he's just I'm like 92-7 on the flop, and on the turn I'm still, even with his 7 outs, I'm still like 85-15. So pretty disgusting that that he even had equity against me. But anyways, yeah, so that's kind of a little bit of a bad beat wine. Hold on just a second. Okay, so yeah, so like I was saying, that's just basically what this is. What I'm really talking about is how to play against fish, which especially when you're deep stacked and you have recognized their tendencies and the leaks in their game. That is, his hand reading ability is really poor, and his estimation of his hand strength is really poor also. So those two things combined, you can, especially when you're 3 buy-ins deep, you can do things like 4-bet a hand like the one I have, knowing that you're going to connect on a lot of the flops, and the weak hands like the one that he has, that he's 3-betting, are going to connect in a way that that he thinks he can continue with profitably, but really you're getting him in drawing very, very slim against you for a monster pot. So yeah, so I was really happy with the way I played that hand, and it was actually very unfortunate to have lost it. But anyways, yeah, so it's partially bad beat wine, partially just pot living Omaha theory, and how to play against bad players, and how to set yourself up to win big pots against players who don't really know what they're doing. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Peace.